What's up, everybody? Tommy here, Math Production. Wait a minute. Man, that's not how it's supposed to load. There was supposed to be a skin over the rev thing, and my dude's hair was looking wild. So look, even if you have a great load order, sometimes it can mess up. Just a reminder, all you really have to do sometimes is power cycle it, quote unquote. Go into your creations, disable all the mods, back out, exit the game completely, load back in, re-enable all your mods, and you should be 100% back in action some of the times. Hey, but today we're talking about the best Star Wars load order, Star Wars themed load order, only Star Wars mods load order that I've been able to put together myself. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show off some of the gameplay with the mods enabled in the background, and I'll kind of go down the list of how I decided to place these mods in the load order where I placed them. So thanks for checking in, and I hope you learned something maybe from the video, whether it be insight or you actually try some of these placements yourself here. But yeah, getting right into it, we started out with the Star Wars A Complete Starfield Overhaul. At the top of the list, it says Complete Overhaul right in the title. You can read through the description. I'll have down in the description of the video all the mods in the load order, who the mod author is, and you'll be able to look these up yourselves if you want to check them out. But again, I have the Complete Overhaul starting things out. And then, like I always preach here, is you want to go with things that are going to change the gameplay itself. So next up, the reason I have the Immersive Sabers is it messes with the perk tree, the skill tree. So I have that one in next. And then I start going with things that are going to affect the actual player characters and the factions themselves in regards to overhauling their entire aesthetics. So I have the Star Wars Aliens. It's the base mod that you need for a lot of the other subsequent mods, and following them, I just put them alphabetically, to be completely honest with you. Freestar Rangers, the Imperial ground crew replacer, the Rebel leaders, then we get the Spacer overhaul, and we get a replacement overhaul, if you will, for the Varuun. The reason I have these things next is those are going to touch a lot of aspects of the game. Now, there is an argument to be made. I agree that the section that comes after this, following the UC Empire, forgot about them there, they weren't on screen. Just being honest. But once we get through those faction overhaul, that portion of the game, the next set of mods that I have are things that overhaul the actual aesthetics of the world of the game. And like I was saying, there is merit, I concede, to the side that says those things maybe should come before the things that impact overhauling the characters, since the characters live in the world, but you need the world for the characters to live in. I do agree. I just feel like the overhauls for the factions themselves are far more extensive in regards to how much they touch and intertwine with everything within the world, that I believe more importance is going to go to that category of mods, the ones that affects the factions themselves, before the section of mods that I have that's going to affect the actual world. And then after those overhauls, I have the Mos Eisley Cantina. It's empty for some reason. There's no models roaming around inside the building, but the building itself looks fantastic. Oh look, there's a little R2, a little sanitation bot. But super cool, right? You can see that on screen while we're talking about it here. But since that adds to the existing world, it doesn't overhaul or anything like that. It does rearrange what was already there. So that's why it gets a higher priority overall on the load order than things like armor or anything like that. But it is a standalone thing, right? After Mos Eisley, I have the things that are actually going to impact the player character themselves and the player character creation. So things like the Star Wars Alien player, Shout out Scully. I'm a big fan of Scully's Emporium for his different decorative pieces, but also has some presets that are Star Wars based. After the player character stuff, I have Greedo in there. So I have the companion Overhaul. So it just takes an existing companion in the game, reskins them. Super cool, but that's what that is, coming after the player character. And then everything else all the way down is just going to be, for the most part, aesthetic changes. Like, they do add different pieces of equipment, apparel, whatever, that can be crafted at the industrial workbenches. But for the most part, they're either adding things to the game that generally already exist, they're just kind of unlocking it for the player, or they're changing the way existing assets look. They're changing the skins on the assets. You guys have also already heard me say before, skin changes don't really impact much of the game at all. In theory, they shouldn't, so that's why I always have those towards the bottom of the load order. At the very end of my load order here, not relevant overall to the idea of a Star Wars or a complete Star Wars load order, but I had the cheat terminal and I had the SKK fast start. That was really just to be able to test the load order, to have credits to be able to test some of the things in the load order, and to be able to skip the tutorial. But I hope you enjoyed the video.